Ladies and gentlemen, I have always opined on this platform severally that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence, and that everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and executed to achieve a specific political objective. Nothing in politics just happens for the sake of it. You can never convince me that the conflict in Sondu is not intended to achieve a specific political objective.
So hii vita ya Sondu, there must be something that is inside of it, Your Excellency.
And I've actually tried so hard to figure out the objective. And I'm now convinced that someone somewhere very senior in government is clearly out to sabotage Raymond Omolo. And of course, there is no way everybody in UDA was happy that William Ruto nominated Raymond Omolo from Luo region, who never voted for the government, to hold such a powerful position. I'm saying this because it can't be coincidence that every time William Ruto is visiting Nyanza, a conflict must be occasioned in Sondu.
Allow me to say this in English. We have seen a very systematic way of dealing with our people every other time when the president is coming to visit Nyanza. The other day when he was going to visit the PS of Interior, they attacked us at Sondu and killed our people. Now he's coming back to Kisumu again. They have again attacked us and killed our people. And we are saying enough is enough. Allow me to say the following, Mr. President. If you are coming to Kisumu, the first agenda on your table must be how to resolve the issue of Sondu boundary.
When Raymond Omolo was holding his Thanksgiving ceremony, the Sondu conflict almost spoilt the day for that particular event. Again, when William Ruto was planning to come to Nyanza, conflict emerged again in Sondu. And the question which everybody is asking, where were the security intelligence? Because there is no way, and I'm repeating, there is no way such kind of a conflict of that magnitude can actually be planned and executed without the intelligence knowing. No way. No way. Yesterday, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance issued a statement. And in that statement, they stated a few things, yeah? That the violence currently going on in Sondu is not an ordinary disagreement between villagers. That is the honest truth. When the first conflict occurred, when Raymond Omolo was hosting his homecoming, there were images and videos which were captured of people meeting. Nothing happened to date. Nobody was ever arrested. As you are also saying something here, that big names are behind this violence. They include leaders, politicians in neighboring counties and in the national government. Of course, someone somewhere is coordinating this thing. A gentleman who is a subscriber on this platform called me just before this thing happened, I think some 2 or 3 weeks ago, that I think after the moment, for those who follow politics really, when a gentleman was killed and he was being buried in Rangwe, that guy is a Kalenjin. He told me that the guy who was shot was actually a very close friend of his. They would spend most of their time together. Was his neighbor. He was killed by people they've never seen. Okay? And now, as we also pointed out something very interesting, in particular, we are demanding investigations to be carried out upon individuals who have been mentioned as sponsors of violence, who include Kericho County Governor Dr. Eric Mutua. They've mentioned Dr. Mutua, but I don't think so. I don't think the county government would be the one doing this. And as we are also concluding that we are convinced this violence is sponsored by local politicians who have set their claim on parts of Kisumu County during the boundary review that is coming up. Of course, there's this story that there's going to be boundary review, and during that boundary review, the numbers matters a lot. So there are people who wants to push up to inside Sondu. There are people who wants Moroni, Chemelil, going all the way to Koru. They want those areas to go to the Kalenjin nation. But I don't want to focus on those. I want to focus on why I personally and strongly believe that someone somewhere is actually out to sabotage Ray Omolo. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to dive in. William Ruto was actually forced today by the residents of Kano in Nyando to talk about Sondu, because he was almost concluding his statement without mentioning Sondu. Remember, the crowd that were attending that event in Nyando were actually people who were paid by the Senator Tom Ojienda to attend the event. And if these people were paid to attend the event, but they could still force Ruto to talk about the issue of Sondu, it means it's a serious thing. Just listen to them forcing Ruto.
Mwisho kabisa, mimi nataka niwahakikishie hivi. Ngojea tu kidogo boss. Mimi nataka Sondu. Aya. Maneno ya Sondu. Ndio hiyo mimi nataka kusema mwisho. Kuna watu wanaturudisha nyuma na kulete vita kati ya jamii na kati ya majirani. Nishamwambia Profesa Kithure Kindiki, vile tumewakalia wale wa North Rift, vile tunawakalia Al-Shabaab, hawa watu wa Sondu hapa watakiona cha mtemakuni. Hatutaki, sikizeni, hatutaki mambo ya ujinga ya ukabila. Sisi tunaishi Kenya moja.
No, that was the situation, which means the issue of Sondu is emotive. And let me just give you a story a bit. You know, I come from Nyakach, and Sondu is our local market. When I was growing up as a young man, we would go to Sondu like every other time to sell ropes, to sell kifagio, all those kind of things. Sondu market, if I remember, used to be two. There was the part which they used to call Kaluo, meaning Luo side, and then there was the other side which was used to be called Lango side. Yeah, so even those years, Sondu was divided into two. But the Luo side was the most active because it would operate Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Then the Kalenjin side used to operate only, or mostly, let me use the right word, mostly on Fridays. And on those days, they would only sell mostly kettles, goats, and sheep. And when I was growing up, you know, we used to have these Kalenjins who would use donkeys to bring maize mpaka huku kwetu. You know, it was that kind of, they would come with the maize, you know, they'll get things, you give them back, they'll carry cassava, you know, sometimes they will even carry mursik. That was the relationship that existed between the Luos and the Kalenjins in Sondu area. You know, when I talk of my village, it's like 12 kilometers from Sondu. And these guys would come with their donkeys all the way there. And you know, those times there was actually no phones. So they used to know how to coordinate that. Okay, this time, wewe nitakuletea mahindi, you know, things like those. Wherever they were going back, they would be also given things to go back with. And until 1992, I think after 1992, that's when things changed a bit. Not really 92, because 92 happened. Then still these things, the relationship continued. I don't know when this thing really escalated, because even right now, yeah, the guy who supplied for me some blocks from Kedoa is a Kalenjin, and he was introduced to me by a friend and a cousin actually. Just asked him to bring. He brought. Then I paid it from there. So the Lugos and the Kalenjins don't have conflict. The conflict in Sondu, the conflict in Muroni are purely political. But for Sondu one, I am sure someone is out to sabotage the super PS. And he must be very careful, because I'm sure nobody is going to tell him this. He must be very careful that someone in government is actually out to frustrate him. Listening to the deputy governor trying to explain the situation.
And finally, Mr. President, we are tired. Mr. President, we are tired. I mean, we can't keep mourning our people. It is time that you come and have a look yourself. Yeah, you are busy taking policemen to Haiti, and yet in a very small space in Kenya, you cannot keep the security.
Now, I have three theories. The first theory which I have is that someone somewhere, especially in government, is clearly not happy with Raymond Omolo. And this individual is so powerful that is able to organize this kind of conflict. The truth of the matter is that this kind of conflict, for you to organize it and just go like that, is a serious thing. So someone somewhere is not comfortable with Raymond Omolo, maybe wants him to be seen like not working or something like that, then yeah. So that's the first theory I have, someone in government. The second theory which is there is that maybe someone in government thought that by creating conflict in Sondu, they were going to in quotes, portray the Luos as violent, or maybe just to create confusion.
From all maps that are available and all surveys that have been done, Sondu town is in Kericho County. Yes. 90%. Perhaps up to 90% of the town is in Kericho County. Yes. And since 2013, from the advent of devolution, the county of Kericho has been collecting revenue peacefully. The business traders that ply their business at Sondu town pay their revenue dutifully, and we've lived and enjoyed good neighborliness. Until about a month or two, or probably 3 months ago, when this issue where revenue officers from the county of Kisumu began pushing beyond the boundaries of Kisumu County, harassing traders from the Kericho side and collecting revenue.
If that was the intention, I don't think that was the intention. I don't think, because it failed when Ruto went to Homa Bay, and again this time around, the magnitude means that it was not meant to be that. You know, when you want to portray a tribe like violent, then it would mean like for example, when Ruto was in Siaya and Kisumu today, probably if you want to portray the community as violent, then someone would throw a stone, like what happened when Uhuru visited Migori last time, when someone threw sugar at him, you know. But no, this is not the case here. The other theory I have is that maybe someone in the opposition wanted to stop Ruto from visit. But then I'm ruling out that, because there is no way someone in the opposition would go and mobilize Kalenjins who are part of government, and without the government knowing. In fact, if this thing was organized by someone in the opposition, today that person would be in jail. So I'm concluding that someone somewhere within government is clearly out to frustrate Raymond Omolo. And I'm saying this because Ray must be very careful, because number one, someone is clearly out to set him up against his people. You know, when the Luos are being killed or being hurt, or their businesses are being burnt down, then the problem is Ray will be viewed as a Luo who presided over or who did nothing to avert when he had power. So you must be very, very careful. Number two, it's also someone is trying also to portray image of a failure, that Ray Omolo has actually failed to contain the conflict. Because if you look at the role of county government, as you yesterday mentioned, the governor for Kericho, if you look at the role of the governors, it's not security. Security is a devolved function. And the security of the Republic of Kenya is under the docket of the interior. The docket of the interior is under the cabinet secretary, Professor Kithure Kindiki. The next individual there is none other than Ray Omolo. So someone would want to portray either the two dockets as failures. And you saw what happened yesterday at the reshuffle. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. But ladies and gentlemen, whatever is happening in Sondu is very unfortunate. Should never be allowed to happen. Let people vote. I mean, for example, if you look at Sondu market, because that's a market I know inside out, forget about the boundary. Let's say even the way the Kericho governor, senator is saying that 90% of Sondu is in Kericho. Let's just say it's like that. But 90% of people who operate in Sondu are Luos. Actually, let's put it, Luos and Kisi form 90% of the people in Sondu, both the traders and the buyers. Yeah. So if you create conflict like this because of a boundary, then next time Luos will say, okay, we are not going to buy things from that side. I mean, that's not how things are supposed to operate. I don't think so. Let the brotherhood between the Luos and the Kalenjins reset back to their factory setting. So that this element who are sending people from outside to cause chaos here, me, I've lost people because of the conflict severally. I mean, not once, not twice. Several people I know have lost their lives, 92, 90, those years. When you are young, very young people, you see, bye-bye, guys.